Hello and welcome to Geek at Play Studio Tutorials. In this tutorial, we'll look on some new additions that were introduced to Vue 8 Strata filters. To make them use, let's create a fractal terrain. Okay, I just want increase size. Let's go ahead and edit our terrain. So I'll scroll a little bit to the side. We can preview functions, how will affect also our terrain. We right click and we'll go to edit function to open our function editor. To add strata filter, we just need it, let's move it a little bit up. And we will use it right now, simple fractal, doesn't matter, you can use terrain fractal. The filter will affect the output, not altitude output of what the fractal producing. And when it starts displaying, so we filter this node. Okay, let's select it. Next, we can go and add filter. Let's switch this to, okay, and let me kind of move down so we can preview. And we'll go ahead, switch this to recursive strata filter. Confined strata, we'll look on this in a second. So let's go. We go to the strata. Let me move a little bit up so we can preview all those options. Okay, and you notice right here we already have it changed slightly how our terrain look. Okay, let's click on disable our edges so we can preview our terrain this way. Right here we have it options, and to understand what these options do, let's look on a real terrain, and you can just Google if you want it. And here I pull out a few images with strata terrains, and you can notice right here on a strata, it's look like a layers. What's happening geological with time, conditions on environment is changed, so it's changed what type of the rocks is kind of creating by environment. And they're like a cake, the layering. When earthquake happen or some other movements, volcanoes or maybe any other things, but you have an exposure side of the terrain, you can see those layering. And almost every mountain that you look, they will have some kind of strata. Some of those may be hidden more due to the erosion of the environment, but some of them is more visible, like here. For example, right here you can see some layering or inside the cave. So they have it multiple. If you have it more interest, just go on Google and search for the strata terrain. So you can find a lot of examples. And again, every mountain will have them. Some of them eroded, so you cannot see it. So we have right here the process. In right now, let's look how we can affect with this process string. Another case, think about this: how much filter will blend with original terrain. So if you're going all the way to the 0, you will see no effect applied from your filter. Again, if you're going to 1%, filter will apply all the way to your terrain. And by blending between them, you can see how much effect you want to apply. Another case, if you want simulate the time erosion of the applying of the filter, you can manipulate with a process string for that. Okay, rock layer hardness. This will create a steepness of your steps. Also, think about strata filter. Similar what we had before, effect in terrain when you're creating steps, except it's kind of like steps on steroids. So it's have a lot, way more control. It's work much more precision. It's actually done a lot of math calculations behind creating of this filter. Even and one plus, I need to give it big credit to Ion who created the Vue by creating the complex calculation and functions behind. They provide with this very simple tool how you can achieve realistic effect just by manipulating with few sliders. So it will provide you with a precision tool, and you can work with very creative. You just can concentrate on creating instead on calculating math. So anyway, let's go the hardness. It will give it the steepness of the steps, and you can see now we have it very steep. And by increasing all the way up, you can also create using this to create nice iceberg terrain. It's what I did sometimes. Let's enable zero edges, and you can see right here you can kind of create very interesting iceberg terrains on that. Okay, let me go all the way so we can preview even more, like right here. So very interesting effects you can achieve by increasing hardness. But in that case, we don't want it. We just want to look what is happening. So this is steepness. It's what provide our hardness. In some cases, think about this, that layers they made from the hard rock. So obviously when it's moving, they don't dissolve very fast. So it will be more steps. Okay. The layer thickness, it's provide how thick layer. And this is a value. It will clip it if you go above your layer hardness. So you can go up to here, and if you go up, you can notice it won't change that much at all. So it will clip it to that value, and by modifying, you can adjust the how thick is layers. So the smaller thickness, more layers you may have it on your terrain. Again, sometimes when you look on this, you don't see all of those details that producing. Let's look just right here on our terrain. Okay, I want to take my main camera, move it above our terrain. Let's render. I'll go ahead, preview. Okay, so right here we have it with our very thin thickness. Let's go edit object. Okay, and again, if we're going inside our filter, we'll just increase thickness more. Even with same steps, but you can see much more effect now right here. You can see where you can see layers kind of. So we'll affect it. The see more layers, we probably want to increase actually the hardness, so we'll have it more kind of break in. But you can see even right here already we have these lines of the layering going. So it's add very realistic to our terrain. Okay, let's go back. Okay, on our filters now. Next, what we have it is layer spacing. Okay, what's happening when you create the filter? Filter will affect on a z-index, will create those apply effects, but they will be repeating and tiling in a z-index. The spacing will help you adjusting how thick you want this repetition going on between those two filtering parents. So for example, we're increasing spacing, the repetition of the filter will increase higher. So, or if you want to repeat it on a smaller line, so we can just decreasing and you'll have it more repetition on that one. Okay, so let's go see. Okay, let me move camera a little bit closer to this angle so we can preview a little bit better. I just want to find right angle, like right here, so we can see those layers. Just adjust slightly, and also we should move our sun. There you go. In this case, we can see very good with shadow, these layers going. Okay, oops. Let me go back to edit our object. So well, now we're going on this layer spacing, and let's increase the better when you start repeating. But you can notice we have it a little bit depend on details and repetition of this layering, how much the layer will repeat it right here. Okay, so again we'll decrease down. And right here they're kind of decreasing, so you don't even see that much repetition of those layers. Again, that will work for your how much erosion you want effect in other. So let's keep it right here. I want to see those layers. That's what I want to work with. Again, the some of those details you won't see on the preview. You kind of need to go render to see real how those will affect. Okay, next option we have a plateau filling. This will control the slope of our plateau. So if we're going all the way to the zero, the plateau will actually going with parallel with layer below. And reason why it's not just all horizontal, because by using offset angle of our layering, the underlaying maybe changed, won't be horizontal, angle can change, and we want to have it plateau fillings going with the layer that under. So also 0 it will go all the way with this slope under with layer. And of course, if you're going all the way to the 1, you can see it. It's change less effective by that. And to see more effect, let's go ahead and take all the way to the 0. So our plateaus will affect with the slope of the layer under that. Okay, smooth edges. What's happening each time when we have it steps, we have those angles. It's edge for ours, and by simply increasing or decreasing our smoothness of the edge, we are allowed how round those edges will be according to the slope. In some cases, think about this erosion on the edge. The smoother edge it is, the more erosion was applied in the time. The less, the more angular, the more younger those mountains can be. So let's set maybe around here. Again, I want to see what we already done with our terrain. So let's go click and preview. And here we have it semi smoother edges, but we still have a very nice layering. We can see through our terrain. And our next one is the smallest feature. And this is option. It's actually tell how fine grained the filter need to be. So in some cases we can say how much details we want to be, but problem is this is filter because it's tiling. It won't work directly with our noise input, so it will work with the on an axis with how much details and repetition will be happen on those layers. Another simple ways, you just want to tell how much small features you want to be processed by filter. Okay, and even simple observation, you can see we have some changes, and some cases on preview windows it's hard to see them. So I recommend when you start adjusting, just going inside render, and you can see right here how much details on this repetition along axis we have here. Okay, so we'll go ahead, set to the 0 at this point. And now you can see how much small details we have it much more along the axis was processed. Okay, the tile heading, it will define the orientation of the axis and which way the strata planes will be tiled. So let's go head all the way up to 180. We'll have it go to the extreme on this point. Okay, and let me also move our camera. Okay, let me close this stuff. We'll take our main camera a little bit above at the point. Okay, so we can observe just a little bit better what's happened here. Okay, we'll go right here. I want to increase string so we can observe more what's going on with ours as well. We do a lot of filling all the way here, and maybe just increase slightly so we have it more higher and more bold effects on our plateaus and on our layering. Okay, so we said handling degrees. Okay, next what we need to do is work with angle degrees. So in the first, we kind of says on which axis we want to tilt, but we still not yet applied angle. So second one, it'll say how much angle we want to actually use it for this degree. And right here, you can see already in preview, we said, okay, according to this X, 108 degrees, tilt by 40, let's go, maybe 30%. Okay, or even more higher, so we can preview. Okay, next, let's switch to the 90 degrees approximately. And you can notice now it's going this direction. So in some cases, there's one thing about first style handling. It is in what direction you want to set. And it's of course 360 degrees. So it will rotating all the way in which direction. Okay. And right now we're going this direction. So this is first set direction. And this is next tool set angle, how much you want to tilt. So in some cases, if you want just slightly tilting, okay, like right here, and you know what? Let's our position which way we want to tilt. There you go. You can see we're tilting outward. So if we want to go tilt towards us, we need to modify the first one value. Let's go set right here, preview. Maybe even more to the angle. Right here and this way. Okay, let's preview now. We should have it a little bit more visible tilting going right here. So we have it towards us, that kind of tilting. Okay, the offset, it will kind of displaying deformation of our strata. So it will shifting and changing from the origin of the creating and up. So let's say we'll set higher offset, and it will be deforming our strata on the amount we set here from the origin, from original down. So we'll apply this way. And right here you can see we still have it angles, we still have it all details, but it start more deforming in a way it's processing terrain. So we kind of apply deformation from the first layer of ours and the origin of the point. Okay, so let's click OK in this case. In many cases, what's happening, you kind of understand what they're doing, but best way to actually it is play around, create your terrains, and see how every small options will affect it. So let's do a couple things right now. We created our terrain. Let's now create something useful. So for example, I like this one. What I want to do, I want to reuse the strata filter we'll just creating. And I go ahead, right click and copy this function. Let's click OK right here. We'll take our camera as well and just move it so we can preview a little bit better of our terrain. Position right here maybe. Okay, as well we're going ahead and set to user define, and I want just increase so we have a more panoramic view on our terrain right here. Okay, and right now what I want to do, I want to apply materials to our terrain. We'll go ahead, open material editor. Okay, and first I will apply paste our function to our color distribution. Next, I want to work on my color map. You notice we reuse same strata filter in terrain that we created for our shape of the terrain. Now we'll use it same to distribute the materials along. In that case, when we start doing with different, you will notice it will apply correctly in some case on our layering. Let's edit color map. And I select first one, and sometimes what happens, you can go ahead and pull out some images of the strata layering and set up them in a way you like it, so they will represent coloring correctly. I'm just right now creating general color map for our terrain. I'm just creating those layers that sometimes you see in the mountains. So let's create more. And of course, with reddish, it means it's more iron deposit or other things which affecting the layering color. Okay, so we set right here our map. And you can see right here, we already have it. Those kind of points is affecting. Okay, next what I want to do, let's apply more details to this. Let's go ahead inside the bump, then we'll just say paste our function. So now we have the bump materials applied to this. I just want to turn all highlights off. Okay, next, what is happening right now, if we look, we have these layers of the rocks which are representing, but the top cover doesn't look real. So let's change a couple things. We add layer. Let's add white layer, and we go ahead now modify our map. So we'll make a little bit more dust, dirt kind of looking. Okay, let's go to very fast apply to this. We'll apply a little bit higher as well, add bumps. And with the environment, I want to set this so it will be just only on a top layer. We'll have it right here. So we have it, the dust will cover just flat ones. So it's almost like dirt right here. Okay, and let's add one more layer. So I want to add more details in our layering. So in some cases, you can just open, select one of them. Okay, we'll go edit function. We'll add just noise. Okay, and we'll go ahead and make it show it's stretch in a Z kind of index. Let's preview. Okay, it's about right. Except maybe one more squeeze down on a Z level. Right here. Okay, and this one was applying actually to everything, so I won't decrease this. Increase, but I won't decrease right here. 6, and this will go down to 90. Okay, let's preview. Okay, we start having lines, but it's a little bit too they're going a little bit too much over. As well on our layer, maybe a little bit brighter colors. So let's create this one and make this one lighter. Okay. So we have more kind of details now going to our terrain. Let's take position of our sun. Okay, and also, you know what, I'm actually not really happy with some coloring, so I'm going to change them. Just adjust slightly, so we'll have it kind of more rocks. Okay, we have it right about right here. So this is lines, and this is dust. Base, let's go on our dust. We'll pop up slightly more and go to effects and just pop up. As well on our lines, I want actually them be not on a flat, I want them be on the sides more. So in that case, we still have our brightness, but in some steps we'll apply those extra details. So right now it's look much better right here on the sides. It's look more like layering going. Okay, as well our top, maybe we want rework something a little bit more. Okay, let's go check our red dust. We'll go to leave it this way. It's on our color. Okay, it's look more like real dust. And I will just decrease so they won't be high. As well on the bumps, let's edit and connect to what we have it before. Okay, the bumps does add more details, but they leave it overwhelmed. So let's decrease. Okay, even more. Again, this is what we're doing, just a little bit fine tuning with materials, how it will interact with our layers. But again, I want at the same time, I want to bring more details to the strata, to those layering we have in our mountains. Okay, our sun will just adjust on the shadowing. Okay, let's go to our atmosphere and a couple things. The one thing, as normal for outside, you want to use a global illumination. It will process nicely distributed between ambient light and other things. Global radiosity is give you interesting effect when you're inside, or if you want sometimes lights bouncing back and coloring the reflections kind of. But I will give it on global illuminations. We'll go to sunlight, just slightly desaturated my ambient light. Let's go ahead and add some clouds to this scenery. So we have the effect of the clouds. Okay, decrease covers. Okay, and we want increased a little bit aerial perspective. So we have it kind of distance look. Okay, we'll leave everything else as default. Let's click OK on this. We'll go to the final list and let's preview our render right now. So here's our render image, and it's look not bad. Couple things I probably want to modify it. It's changed a little bit lighting, so we have more lights coming through. As well, the covering, maybe add more greenish toward our this top layer, and on a strata make angles a little bit smoother on top. So let's do very fast this. We'll go to edit object. Okay, we'll edit our function. We'll go to strata, and right here where we have it smooth edges, I just want a little bit more on the smooth edges applied. Okay, we'll click OK here. As well, we edit our materials on top dust. Okay, I want to select this one, and let's switch this a little bit greenish. So we'll bring a little bit more towards right here, maybe around colors. Okay, next let's move our camera as well, so we can kind of look over. Terrain a little bit more this way. Okay, I think it's right, maybe about right as well, because it's procedure. One beauty about this, we can increase size, and because procedure terrain will recalculate for us, so we still have it all those details. Okay, around right here. Also, you know what, a little bit angle, maybe too much. So we'll go inside, we'll go to our strata filter, and right here, angle in tilting, I want to actually decrease. Maybe it was a little bit too much on an angle. So let's click OK. Okay, now we go to atmosphere editor and reduce cover for our clouds. Okay. And we can just slightly increase softness for our sun. Let me reduce a little bit size, so we'll render faster. I think we'll render for this image. Okay, so right here is our final image, and you can see how we apply nice layers. We have it on those steps, the dust applying as well. We still have some smoothness we just added. Again, this is, we kind of try overview of the strata filters, but we're going to use them more in a practical sense when we try to create icebergs and other scenery, and hopefully they will provide a little bit more experience for you, so you better understand how to use this filter and what best of use you can have. Thanks for watching this tutorial from Geek at Play Studio. Please visit us on the web at www.geekatplay.com.